60 degrees as the game gets underway as the Phillies take the field. And tonight's batting order brought to you by Autotrader.com. For the Cardinals, Rafael Furcal will be at shortstop. Skip Schumacher will be in center field batting second. Albert Pujols hitting third at first base. Lance Berkman will be in right field. Matt Holliday is in left. Yadier Molina behind the plate. David Freese at third base. Making his first start in the series is Nick Punto. He'll be at second base. And Chris Carpenter batting ninth, the pitcher, facing Roy Halladay, making his second start, and was the game one pitcher for the Phillies.
Well, these guys, when they get ready for a game, any game, every game's like a playoff game. They're very serious. They don't talk to anybody. They're into their mode. They're in the tunnel. And every pitcher in a game like this just wants to get into the flow. And sometimes it takes a little longer, Ron, to get into the flow. But if you can get into it right away, then it's just baseball as normal.
What did Charlie Manuel say before the game? He says, what do you do to get Roy ready for these games? He goes, I say hello, and that's it.
And very few people expected the Cardinals, first of all, to get into these playoffs, and second of all, to extend a team that had their franchise year with 102 wins, John, to be extended to 5 games.
Absolutely, and you're in a place right now with one of the greatest home field advantage. You want to keep your fans as into the game as possible. Be careful with Rafael Furcal on the first pitch. He's been known to try and jump that pitcher's fastball, but Doc Halladay has all of these kind of reports in his back pocket.
Rafael Furcal stepping in, and the rally towels are out in force here in Philadelphia. Furcal had a first inning single and a stolen base against Halladay in game number 1. 1-0 the count. Switch hitting Furcal, 1 for his last 11. Acquired from the Dodgers, battled hamstring problems at the end of the year. 1-1. Furcal will be followed by Schumacher and Pujols. 2-1.
Well, the players aren't the only ones that have pressure. The home plate umpire with these two great pitchers, he's going to make it awfully difficult because they normally hit their spots. And we'll see what kind of game Gary is behind the plate.
And there's a drive hit to right center field. Victorino chases it, and it's over his head and off the wall. Furcal rounding second and heading for third as the ball gets loose in the outfield, and a lot closer than expected with the ball getting loose. And Rafael Furcal with a leadoff triple to start the game.
It doesn't matter if the Cy Young's on the mound. If you get behind these hitters, 2-1 count, they are going to tee off. Little fastball up in the strike zone by Halladay, over the head of Gold Glover Victorino in center field. And by the time he picks it up, he misses the cutoff man. It bounces on nothing. So by the time Rollins gets it, a slide to triple.
And Skip Schumacher, who is 5 for 8, hitting .625 in this series, looks at a breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike.
Here's a situation right here that you don't wait for anybody else to get the job done. You get the ball on the ground somewhere, get the run in, get your team ahead. Don't rely on anybody else to do the job. Because what Doc Halladay is really good at, he can get 3 outs before that runner scores just as easy.
They always talk about him working the outside 3 inches of each corner of the plate. When guys are on base, it's the last inch of each corner of the plate.
Just getting a piece of it is Schumacher. Interesting that in that game 1, he led off the second inning with a single before Halladay retired 21 in a row. And there's Pujols on deck.
You're going to get Doc. It has to be early.
Cardinals took the season series from the Phillies 6-3. Although, as Charlie Manuel points out, the last 3 occurred after the Phillies had clinched the division. Just missed outside. 1-2.
Boy, good pitch there, John. You see Ruiz behind the plate. Lots of movement. Might have taken that away.
And a good at-bat for Skip Schumacher here.
Already the Cardinals have worked the count with Furcal to get to 2-1, and Schumacher now has fouled off 4 real difficult pitches.
One thing as a hitter here, you give up of yourself with any thought of getting a hit with 2 strikes. Put it in play, cut down your swing, and the Cardinals will be leading 1-0.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. And the target was outside the strike zone, and that's where the pitch went, hoping that Schumacher would chase it, and it's 2-2. Pujols on deck and Lance Berkman to follow. And another foul ball.
I think if you're Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, you can't be enticed or intoxicated by the greatness of both these pitchers. You want to call strikes. You know they can make the pitches, but you have to make sure they're on the corners. Make it fair for both teams.
And the ball hit off to the right, foul. Speaking of the umpires, Gary Cederstrom calling balls and strikes. Chad Fairchild is the umpire at first. Chris Guccione at second. Jerry Meals at third. Crew chief Jerry Lane down the left field line. And Angel Hernandez is the umpire down the right field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Schumacher for a call with a leadoff triple. The 10th pitch of the at-bat, and a line drive down the right field line, and it is a fair ball into the corner. Furcal will score, and Schumacher will go into second with a double. So a pair of extra base hits, and the Cardinals have taken a 1-0 lead. And here's Albert Pujols, who's had a big series average-wise, and he fouls off the first pitch. Pujols had a 4-hit game in which he had 3 doubles. But he has had only 1 run batted in and a chance to give the Cardinals another run with Schumacher in scoring position. And he gets jammed in a pop-up that Utley goes to third. And out at third base is Schumacher. An alert play by Chase Utley on a ball that had a lot of English run, and he managed to get Schumacher at third, a big first out for the Phillies.
Well, the problem here is Pujols gets jammed, but bad read by Schumacher off the bat. You can see Pujols saying, leave, go. That ball's going to drop in. Utley playing on the grass. He's not going to get to it. Schumacher's got to get to third base. Alert by Utley, and Utley, who was caught at third earlier in the season, catches someone else.
Yes, in the last game, Albert Pujols came off the bag and nailed him going to third when he was running on a ground ball. So there's 1 away, and now Pujols the base runner at first.
Well, there's these type of points in the game you hope don't come back to haunt you. They're 1 for 1. One good job getting the runner in, one job of not getting the good jump you need to create more pressure for the Phillies. This Phillies team is one of those teams where you've got to create pressure on the pitcher, and that was one thing that let him off the hook.
Lance Berkman, who hit a 3-run homer off of Halladay in the first inning of Game 1, has 4 runs batted in, and in fact 2 homers against Halladay in the last month. And the ball getting away from Carlos Ruiz, and Pujols will move down to second base.
Boy, these are things you just don't see happen to the Phillies early in the Halladay start. A couple of mistakes with breaking balls for base hits, extra base hits, and a ball eluding Ruiz, the catcher, who's one of the best in the game.
A wild pitch has been charged to Roy Halladay. So the Cardinals with their 3rd runner in scoring position here in the first inning. Count is 1-1 to Lance Berkman. 1-2, and this was the home run in the first inning that gave the Cardinals a 3-0 lead, stunning this crowd. And the Phillies came back and won.
You know, Tony La Russa talked about Berkman saying he's such a pro. He's just one of those guys that is ready to hit the first pitch, but he can also has great plate recognition.
Next pitch will be the 20th here in the top of the first. Two balls, two strikes to Berkman with Matt Holliday on deck. Fouling it off, and the count remains 2-2 with Lance Berkman talking about what a pitcher has. He says, and now they're saying he was hit by the pitch. Catcher's interference. Yep.
Sometimes you cannot blame the catcher for catcher's interference. What happens is that the hitter will swing so late. That's what happened to Berkman. He is fooled by the pitch, swings so late that he swings right down on the glove of Ruiz, causing this catcher's interference, just catching the tip of his glove.
Charlie Manuel out to get the ruling from Gary Cederstrom, and it was clear that the glove was out there and the bat hit it, so now the runners are at first and second.
I've always hated that rule because if you're rewarded for swinging poorly.
So Matt Holliday, who made his first start in Game 4, stepping in and taking ball one. So for Roy Halladay, a struggle so far in this first inning.
Well, what the Cardinals have done a good job is spoiled every really tough pitch he's thrown. And when you face Doc Halladay, that's exactly what you have to do. Easier said than done. And one thing in a game like this, when you have hitters that are patient and don't speed the game up, you got a chance against a great pitcher.
1-1 to Matt Holliday, and in his first start went 1 for 3, was hit by a pitch and scored 2 runs. Yadier Molina on deck, and Matt Holliday swings and misses, and now it's 1-2, trying to get out of a first inning jam, and 1 run wouldn't be all that bad for Roy Halladay. Catcher's interference call, by the way, goes as an error charged to Ruiz. That's the second error of the series charged to the Phillies. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two and two. Roy Halladay giving up 3 runs in the first game of the series. Phillies came back and won 3 of the 4 games. The team that took the lead ended up on the short end.
Yeah, as long as it's not a really big inning and you haven't gotten your team too far behind. We've all seen Doc run off 20, 19, shoot perfect games.
And a full count. First 3-2 count we've had in this first inning. 28 pitches thrown by Roy Halladay, and a pop-up in foul territory. Placido Polanco has a play and makes the catch for the second out. And the runners hold. Pujols at second and Berkman at first. So with 2 down and 2 on, Yadier Molina, the Cardinal catcher, 3 of 15 and 1 run batted in, hitting 200 in the series. And 1 for 8 lifetime against Halladay. And it's fouled back, and the Milwaukee Brewers have defeated the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-2 in a deciding 5th game. So the winner of this contest will go against the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Championship Series that you will see on TBS. That series will begin Sunday.
They certainly have some attention they're going to be watching here to see if they start at home or make their trek out here to open up with Philly.
Check swing by Molina, and it's 1-1.
I don't know if I've ever seen Halladay throw this many breaking pitches in the first inning. Trying to get these St. Louis Cardinals hitters to bite. They are not so far.
But with a leadoff triple and a double, to get out of this with only one run would be major for Halladay. 2-1. And ground ball to Rollins. He'll get the force, and that'll do it. 33 pitches thrown by Roy Halladay, but for Hall's triple and Schumacher's RBI double, giving the Cardinals a 1-0 lead. Phillies coming up in the first.